Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Alps Panorama at the Northern Sea here in Farming Simulator 19. Before I go and put it over next to the chickens, we're going to just scoop up the silage in front of the cows, like this. And go along there. Right. Carefully and gently scoop up the silage that is in front of the cows like that. We've got 365 litres of silage in there. Tip that out. There. Right. That bit's taken care of. And how are the cows actually doing? That's another thing that we want to just take a quick look at. So, that one sailor there, we don't need to worry about those. Those aren't important. Hay and silage in there. We've now got a little bit of hay that we can put in. Total mixed ration is not a thing yet because we don't have any straw. Cleanliness is coming up. They are on 59% right now. They're all on 59%. They're increasing in weight. This is good. Like the cows are increasing in weight. Slowly, slowly. We got 9.3. We got 11.07 right there. So they're getting there, and they're increasing in weight. Next animal in 0.7 years. So some of these animals are now pregnant, which means that we're going to start getting milk from some of these animals soon, which is a good thing. Right. Well, we'll leave that lot there. I'm going to put the bucket down over here because this is somewhere that we're going to be using the bucket quite a lot. And also, buckets are frequently stored outside. That's a perfectly normal thing to go and do, and store your buckets outside. Next, we need to go and get a bale spike from the dealership. So I'm going to go back over this way so that we can take a bale of hay and we can drop it in for the horses. And this is going to be the big question, is can we actually drop it in for the horses? And yeah, this time I'm just going to go straight across the grass because we're just picking up a bale spike and I want to do this quickly. Get through this as fast as we possibly can on this little tiny bit. If we can't just go and put the bale in for the horses and we lose the majority of the 8,000 litre bale that we've gone and made, we're going to be doing things slightly differently. I've got an idea of how we can do it because we can pop the bales open. At least we should be able to pop the bales open. Where is... Wait, what? Why is it not there? Maybe it's under wheel loaders. It's not under wheel loaders, it's under front loaders. Ah, there. Fork lizard with claws. This is my favourite mod for handling bales. Absolute favourite mod. Now, it's only put under the front loader, but you have got a telehandler and a wheel loader attachment on it as well, so you can use any one that you want. We're going to go with the telehandler attachment on it right there. And it's this one right here. This is my absolute favourite mod for handling bales. It's very much like the bale spikes that I used to use when I actually worked on, well, some farms I used bale spikes a bit like this. Without the... We didn't have the hydraulic bit on the top. It was simply the bale spike on the bottom, but the large frame is something that I have spent a lot of time using. A bale spike like that with the large frame that will handle 4 bales. You stack 4 bales up on it, it works beautifully. I like having the claws on it for in-game purposes because they grab the bales and it stops them from jiggling around too much. It makes life a lot easier. But this particular bale spike is one that I have used, well, not this, like I say, not this particular one, but bale spikes like this I have spent many, many thousands of hours using and stacked tens, if not hundreds of that, probably hundreds actually, yes. That is not an exaggeration. I have handled hundreds of thousands of big square bales. This particular type of big square bale as well. I have used others, but this particular type is the one that I've done most of. Hundreds of thousands of bales like that I have handled using a telehandler and a bale spike a bit like this. So it's something that's very familiar to me. Now, we're going to drop that one in there. So remember, it said 3,000 and some odd litres. So we drop you in there. And it's not going to accept the bale at all. Right, that's interesting. But it's taken the material out of that bale. That's what it's done. It's just taken the material out of the bale. So the bale itself has had part of it consumed, but the bale is still here. Look, see, we've got 7,472.3561177,467 of the bale left, which is an unusual quantity to be left in the bale, but it's really good that we are only using part of the bale. That is something that I actually really like, I approve of. This has Frithgar's stamp of approval. I'm just going to leave that one there a second, and we've got to start moving stuff around because these bales, if they get rained on, we'll lose them all, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to go to you, and I'm going to move this one over here. The bales aren't strapped at the moment. They'll probably be alright. If I bring that trailer to about there, I can easily start unloading those bales by hand if I want to. I probably won't, though. So we're going to... The rake is one that we're going to keep, and also this crone is one that we're going to keep as well, or at least keep for now. Because this one's also got its uses, like for getting fresh grass and stuff. As we get more hay, we're not going to need this crone at all, I don't think. So... well, see, I'd like to do a grass silage harvest using forage wagons, but it won't be this forage wagon that I use. It'll be a completely different sort of forage wagon that I use for doing that. It'll be a much, much bigger forage wagon that I use for doing that. So it might be that this crone here has had its final run, because I've got a little bit of hay now. I don't need to keep all of that hay. I can actually dump some of it in for the cows, because we're going to be making more hay very soon, and that will then be kept back for the horses and for the cows. We're not getting sheep, so we don't need to have any for that. We're just going to be getting pigs later on. Right, well, we've got several things that are going to be on their way. Just not quite sure when and how we're going to be using some. If I take... I'm just going to move this one over a little bit. Right, we'll just stop this one over here for a minute. There. And then we'll run back this way. We'll also move this one out of the way. Actually, before we move that one out of the way, let's go back over here and let's go in and have a look at what sheds we've got available in here. So we've got sheds here. We've got these easy sheds there. This is the one that I would probably want to go for. Right there. And if we have a look at that... That's not far off what I want right there, really. Yeah, I know that we've got the object collides a little bit. I don't care about that. We'll move that in a minute. We can shunt things around. That might be what we want. So we've got that option. We've got these over here as well. Now, this is another one that I really like. That one there, two-sided bale shed. This one's really good. If I swing that one round... like that, there. Don't want it to go out onto the fence over there. I sort of want to bring that one there. So I've got a choice. I can either sort of bring it in there. That's quite a big one there, actually. We got the trees in the way, but that would allow us to drive around the back of it. We could say no, we definitely don't want to be driving around the back of it. And so instead, what I could do is I could just bring it like this. Then there's enough room on one side that I'd be able to put something in there. And the rest of it just sort of goes like that. Now, let me come over here like this. I'll zoom in a little bit. And I'll go there. That would be roughly where I'd want to put it. Oh, no, I want to move it up that way a bit. Something like that, I think. Right up to the corner of that fence over there. I think that would be the spot to put it. So we'll come off of there a minute. I need to move this truck, because the truck can actually be reversed down in here. This is what I'm thinking. Well, in theory, the truck can be reversed down there. It depends whether, once we've put that shed in, whether we got room to maneuver it around that corner. I think we probably will have. Looking at this, I do think that we'll have room to maneuver it in around there. Let's stop you there a minute and hop out again. So I want to come over to here, and I want to go back to that one. So sheds. Now, I could go for the double bay. That one. Right, that one there. If I was to swing that one round and go here, I'm taking up a lot less room with that, aren't I? I've got room to maneuver in front. Right, because that might be something we'd be glad of. We've still got room to store a load of bales in there, because I've got 2 bays, and this is primarily what it's going to be for. Alright. Okay, I think we'll do it like that. We'll do it like this. We'll put that one up to here. Let's swing this one round a bit this way. There, I won't be able to see what I'm doing at this end. So that will come back up there, right up close to the fence there on both sides. That's where it's going to be. So I need to come out of here, and then we need to go Control G like this, and go to that one, and activate Extended Placeable, like that. And we've got the Cut Bales one already active. I don't need that. Wait, what was the other? Control G, activate More Trees. What's More Trees? I don't know what More Trees is. Is that something in here? Have we got... Oh. Birch, media... Ah, I see. We go and buy these trees, look. A big spruce tree there. $1,500. That is a beast of a tree. Look at that thing. There's a beast of a tree. I reckon you'd get more than 1,500 selling that one, you know. Anyway, but that's not what we're after, is it? We are after sheds, and we're after the medium bale shed this time. Now you have a look, we can see that it's all going to fit perfectly. It's just so long as it shouldn't have concrete blocks sticking up above it. I'll try and get that as straight as I possibly can on there. And come back into that corner. It's those green boxes, they're slightly worrying to me. You there. Right, let's have a look. There we go. So, we've got the concrete pads there. Actually, the concrete pads are not really in the way. I suppose I could have lowered it down a little bit. That may have been beneficial. And if we go back through here, it's just pushed it down ever so slightly on there. And it hasn't pushed out into the field. I mean, it has pushed into the field a little bit, but it doesn't seem to have done... It hasn't caused any problems with it. Now, we've got a dirt floor under this, and I don't want a dirt floor. I want to have back that concrete floor that was already existing there, so we're going to have to do that bit next. So we're going to go to landscaping in here, and we're going to go like this. So I'm going to spin this round like that. Over here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then we want to go change landscape mode to this one. We will change the modification shape like this, and then we go tab, not that ground type, not that ground type, nope, that one, that's the one we're looking for. So I now need to go through and do this. The only problem with this... Right, that'll actually work just fine like that going along there. It's not reaching back too far. It's not reaching back too far there either, so I can go like that. It does extend underneath the edges of the building ever so slightly, but not a huge amount. So I can drop that in there. Like that. There, right, that's neat and tidy there. I've got one little bit here, so I'm going to just reduce that one down. That's as small as we can go there like that, and just finish that off like that. If I go up there, it's going to go back too far, isn't it? I'd rather just leave that as a little bit of mud in the corner than have the concrete extend back any further than it currently is. Because if I go there, that's going to go out too far, isn't it? Like, oh, maybe not. No, that's not too far. It's coming back to the edge of the fence, but I think that's all right. I don't want it to go there. That bit there I can extend out. That one I don't. And then that one I will extend out a little bit like that. And I'm going to do that all the way up through here, actually. Like that. Just so that I've got room. And yeah, the grass is growing out over it, but there is plenty of types of grass. We call it stroil in this part of the country. Is a type of grass that it basically extends long sort of feelers out, and then each of those feelers will very, very quickly grow roots. I've seen that type of grass growing right through the side. Physically, the roots, the extension little bits on it, will push, and they will puncture holes through the plastic on a polytunnel. Right? It's really, really strong stuff. Let's come out of there. Right, there is our new bit of work all done. So we've got plenty of room down here, which means that I can back that one down in here. But that grass right there, that could easily be the stroil that comes out across. It just puts out those feelers, and then each time the feeler touches ground, it can put down roots. And it kind of makes its own soil. It goes over bits of concrete, and then bits of soil and stuff gather up there, and that provides nutrients to the grass, and on it goes. And it very quickly will break up a piece of concrete. So you always see that sort of on the very edges of it. So I think that is quite realistic, actually, having the bit of grass going over the top of the concrete like that. We should have just enough room here so that I can bring this truck back round like that. There, I'll start turning there, and then I can turn a bit sharper. There we go. Now we turn very sharp. Need to just sort of straighten and shunt a little bit, like that. There we go. And back round that way. Not quite all the way straight. A bit more. I think that'll do nicely. So now I can just zoom back up here. Like this. There. And that one is neatly tucked away, ready for us to use anytime we want. It's got its own little home right there. I want to put these bales away next. We'll do that. I'm not going to manually stack them, I don't think. That bale is slowly sliding off those forks. That's one thing I don't like with the game. It's the way that the physics in the game sometimes work to pull things off the forks and that. They just kind of manually judder their way off. We can drop that one down there. I suppose I could go and stack them away by hand. You just bring them in here. I've done a lot of stacking bales by hand lately. If you've watched the time-lapse in the last couple of weeks. I didn't do any this last week, but the week before I did quite a bit of stacking by hand, and the week before that I did quite a lot of stacking by hand. See, this one here, look. And I wouldn't use that bit on there, but you'd pick up your bales. I would be having the bales 4 high. You come along here, there wouldn't be a bale out the other side, and that's a little bit too sharp of an angle, so I want to just come over here and shunt around a little bit, like that, and you sort of come in at a slight angle, like that, right? When you're approaching the trailer, I'm going to see if I can do this from in the cab. So when you're approaching the trailer, that's too much of an angle, right there. You approach the trailer at ever such a slight angle like this, okay? And you bring it in, and you touch the bales up against that side there, and then we're almost at the point where we're coming off, and you get to there, and then you turn sharp like that, and you press the bales like that. Now, you don't move forward very much, but what you do when you do that bit... Yeah, see, I can't judge. I've got no depth perception in the game. So what happens when you're doing that is you're not really pushing the bales forward very much, but what you are doing is you're shunting them towards the front of the trailer, and you end up squishing the bales up quite tight together. Now, no depth perception or anything from inside the cab. I made a complete pig's ear of that. So let's try it from outside of the cab and see if we can do this a little bit better. So we'd come up like that there to sort of there's probably a little bit too sharp an angle for that. Bring it, yeah, that is too sharp an angle for that. You can tell it's been a long time since I've done this. Bring it, yeah, that is too sharp an angle for that. You can tell it's been a long time since I've done this. Bring it, yeah, that is too sharp an angle for that. You can tell it's been a long time since I've done this. Bring it, yeah, that is too sharp an angle for that. You can tell it's been a long time since I've done this. And, I mean, it does depend on what you're doing. I mean, for the most part, you wouldn't worry about doing it too much. But you can come up like that, and then you can just kind of shunt the bales in a little bit, and it would squish them forwards. That's what you'd end up doing, is as you go in and then you twist slightly, what it's doing is it's pushing that side of the bale right up against that one and shoving it up nice and tight. That gives you plenty of room on the back of the trailer to put more bales. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why in real life you never leave that one at chest height. Did you see what I did there? I forgot that it was behind me. I turned around and started walking, and I impaled my own chest on the bale spike. That has actually happened in real life. You never, ever, under any circumstances, get out of your vehicle with the bale spike like that unless you have a very specific reason to do so, and then you do it very carefully. If you're just getting out for any reason, the spike goes down and into the ground like that. That is the position that you should leave your bale spike, like that. If you're hopping out, I mean, you should turn the engine off, but if you're hopping out, you leave it like that. Those spikes are down in the ground. If someone goes nearby with another vehicle and they drive just in front of that, they're not going to shred open their tires. And nobody is going to stick a bale spike through their ankle on that, which is something else that can happen. None of those things are going to happen because that has now been made safe. That is how you should leave a bale spike, right? You put it down on the ground and then you tilt it so those spikes go right down and touch the ground. Right? I would very often just drive forward a little bit like that, and that would push the spikes into the ground a little bit. Right? It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't need to be excessive or anything like that, but just an inch into the ground to make absolutely certain there's nothing sticking up above the ground. That's leaving it safe. That is, that's good practice. When you're operating a machine like this, it's very easy to forget that those spikes are actually incredibly dangerous. And some people do forget just how dangerous those spikes can be. And they don't need to be moving for them to be dangerous. They can simply just be there. They can simply exist. And that is dangerous enough. Right? You don't need to be doing anything special with those bale spikes for them to be really, really seriously dangerous, as I demonstrated when I turned around and then walked right into them. People have actually died doing that. Just simply walking into a spike that they didn't realize was right behind them, that they'd put there themselves and then forgot about. Right? That's how serious a thing it can be. Now, what we're going to do, on a lighter note, is we're going to bring that one and put that one there. Then I'm going to go and get that bale trailer over there. We're going to auto-load, and then we're going to auto-unload into the shed. We've got a bit of lag around the yard at the moment. Probably because of these bales here, in part. So I will back you up there, and we will grab you. And then we will... No, I don't want to press U, do I? Y, sorry. I want to press U like that. Press U again. And then we'll bring that one over here, and... we need to put these bales so that we can unload them. Now, there's two ways that we can do this. I can back them in, and I can put them sideways, or I can simply do it like this. Right. I can bring that one forward like that. There, like that. And then if I press B, it's going to put them out that side. If I press B again, it's going to drop them right behind me. Near the front. And then I press Y like that. And there we go. I've unloaded those bales. They are now rendered safe from the rain. They're not going to be destroyed by the rain. We're not going to have any issues with the rain, in theory. And everything should all be tickety-boo. Now, let's swing you in round here like this. And stop you there. It's not tidy. It's not square. It's fine. I don't care. I'm going to drag this one over here. And then I think the only thing that see, look at the lag we've got in the yard here at the moment. Surprising, really. I don't know why we've got quite so much lag in here. It's probably all the machinery that we've got kicking around in here. That's probably not helping matters. And also the horses there as well. We've got chickens. Cleanliness is down. We could, excuse me, we could do with a little bit of food for the chickens. Like that there. We need food for the cows. I'm going to put hay in for the cows. So we're going to go and get some bales. I would say we'll get a stack of 3 bales and drop them in and see how they do with those. And then the horses themselves, they are absolutely fine at the moment. They've got water, oats, and hay. They've got everything that they could possibly need. 75% there on... That's got to be the riding percentage. I'm assuming that that's the groom mod, sort of working with the game. So we should get some income from those before too long. I don't know when we get income, whether it's just at midnight that you get the horse income, or if it's later or earlier than that. I've got absolutely no idea. So we go into here and we grab 8,000 litres like that, and then if I do that... The one thing is I always... In-game, I find it easier to work from this angle. If I'm watching it from this angle, I can generally work the bales pretty good. But I have noticed that I don't tend to quite pick them up right. And also, they have this horrible tendency to just slide off the forks, which I really hate. But if you notice there, they are definitely angled ever so slightly. And I do try to get them straight every time, but it never seems to quite work, and I haven't quite figured out why. I mean, I kind of know why it's going out at an angle, but it's a very unusual thing. It goes out at an angle like that. So I'm going to bring these over here. There's 16,000 litres of hay gone in already. There's another one. That filled up the trough a little bit. Let's jump down here, and 24... Divide that into 3. 2, 3. Is 2 more going to go in there? I think we'll put 1 more. We'll go and get 1 more bale. So 4 bales appears to be about right for the cows. That way they're not going to eat into the grass supply that they've got. Now, we do have grass in their pen that they will also eat. I'm going to go and get this 1 bale down over here. 8,000 litres on there. That one... Even though we moved it, it's not sticking out the edge of the barn, so that'll be fine. I run you over here to the cows as well. I tilt it back like that. It's less inclined to slide right off the forks. Although it still does it. It does still do it to a certain extent. Take you out like that there, so there's a little bit more. It wasn't particularly elegant doing it like that, right? So 32,000 litres, 40,000. It's not going to quite fit 40,000 litres in there. I think that's fine. We will leave it like this. So, see, we've still got some cows not fertile. Some of them are now pregnant, and we're going to be getting animals soon. Yeah, see, 0.7 years. So, they're pregnant, some of them. There's another one. Some of them are not, so on and so forth. So, we'll see. I don't know how the game does the cows with milk production, because real life you've got 2 different types of farmer. Essentially, you've got farmers that will have all of their cows calve in the spring, and then they will milk through the year, and then they dry them off late winter, and they don't milk in the middle of winter. And then the other brand of farmer has their cows staggered calving all through the year, so they're milking 365 days a year, all the year round. Right? It never changes. So there's 2 different types. So I don't know how the game itself is going to do it. It's going to be interesting to find that one out. Cleanliness down over there for the chickens. So we've probably got, like... This is something that annoys me with the chickens. Is that their cleanliness, when it says that they're dirty, that's what they've got. It's that... See that heap? That's it. That's dirty chickens there. It's 16 litres of grain there on the floor. That is all you will get from them. There is no more than that. Just 16 litres of grain, which is a very, very ridiculously small amount of grain to say that the chickens are losing percentages of their health for not being clean. Which, I mean, that's one bit of the whole chicken thing that I don't particularly like. Let's go and scoop that up a second. As soon as we've scooped that up, I do also need to put a little bit more food in for the chickens, don't I? Yeah, we're 712. It's 7:30 at night. Actually, we might have enough. See, 16 litres. We may have enough to see the chickens through the night, and then we can feed them. Well, that's about all we've got time for in today's episode. So we're going to go and take a little bit of a break. We need to chill out on the beach, relax, and build up some strength. So while we're doing that... If you've enjoyed the episode, then could you please head down below and give us a like? And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, Thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.